guys, it's Bridget, Therese, and this is episode 11. Can you believe it already? We are more than halfway to my show in Mexico City, and I took a week off last week. I had my family here in town, so we spent some time doing some fun things, eating food I probably shouldn't. But today we're back, and I'm doing a question and answer session. So if you're watching this, feel free to post your questions below as we go, and I'll watch. Today I'm doing my episode live outside. As you can see, I'm sitting by the pool by my house. So I apologize if there's birds singing and maybe an occasional person walking by, but it's a beautiful day here in Houston, and I wanted to take advantage of the nice weather. So I have put together a whole bunch of questions that I've been asked, or that as I'm training for this show, or questions that I've been asked along the way over the years, from just when I began to compete to now. So there's a lot that goes into a fitness competition, and a lot of people have questions. They don't know where to start. They don't know what it takes, like if I can do it. And so I compiled a bunch of questions, and I just wanted to go over them with you too as well. So if you know of anybody who you think would benefit from this, or is interested in competing, maybe curious about it, please share this video or tag them in the comments below so that they can benefit from this as well. So I'll go ahead and get started, and we'll just wait for a few more people to join, and we'll just get going here. The first thing that people want to know is if they can do it. Can I compete? Am I able to do it? Like, what does it take? So the answer is yes, but I will tell you, it's hard to do it unless you already have a healthy lifestyle built in, meaning you're already eating healthy, you have good habits, you're already consistently going to the gym, and it's not going to be a lot of pressure for you to stay really consistent with working out and eating healthy over a long period of time. So let me see here. Swipe. Okay. All right, just making sure my settings are correct. So give me 1 second here. I'm just gonna hit some buttons here and get this on the way. Get this rolling. Here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so if the answer is yes, anybody can compete, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment. So just join and do it when you know that you can dedicate the time. So I haven't competed in 4 years because I was going through a lot of different things. I had a lot of different outside contributors that I knew I didn't have what it took to commit to going to the gym every day and being really consistent. So I had to take a little break, and that was my 4-year absence. But in that time, I maintained a healthy diet. I continued to eat healthy, meal prep, and do all of that, so that when I did decide to go back and compete again, it wouldn't be a huge adjustment. Good, and hello to everybody who's joining in. Thank you for watching. So when you're going to compete, just make sure that you have the time. So right now it's a good time. I have from January till about June to train and compete for my show before my son comes and before summer's here. And so I chose that time frame to get on stage, jump on stage, and really focus on getting ready for a show. So make sure you have the time and the dedication that you can commit to training for a show. One of the other big things is there's a lot of different federations out there. So there is NPC, there's Musclemania, there's WBFF, and there's all these different options. So how do you decide on which federation to choose? So I'll make it, it's not really simple, but you kind of have to do your research and decide which federation is right for you. So for example, WBFF is kind of, there's different categories, and I'm not super familiar with it, so don't quote me. Again, just do your research and figure out which one's right for you. But they do like a ball gown round, and there's a lot of super elaborate costumes that go into that. So that I know is a lot of money to compete in that federation. But that's one of them. There's NPC. NPC tends to be not a natural organization, meaning that the competitors can use steroids or different supplements or things that may not necessarily be natural or very healthy even. There's also different posing routine in within NPC that I don't personally find classy, so I choose not to do it. But that is also an option, and there's sometimes a lot more shows are easier to get into that one, but it's for how much work you do, you hardly get any stage time, and then the experience is not as great. And then of course there's Musclemania and Fitness Universe and Fitness America. So that is a federation I have competed in all 4 times, and I absolutely love it. So it's classy, it's a lot of stage time, and I say a lot of stage time loosely because there is no such thing as a lot of stage time, but you do get a lot more time on the stage, and it's a lot more family friendly, it's classy, it's natural, and it just aligns more with my my values and how I want to train and do train for a show. So there's that one. So once you decide on your federation, then you decide on a show. So for me, I originally, when I started, chose regional shows. It's cheaper. You don't have to spend a lot of money in travel, and it's just a little bit more convenient. They're generally smaller shows, the regionals, and it's less intimidating than traveling for your first time, getting on a huge stage with 200 competitors. So I highly, highly suggest doing a regional show first before jumping on stage at a national level, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we are on episode 11, question and answer session. If this is your first time watching, I am competing for Mexico City and sharing my journey and experiences along the way with any of those who are interested in competing or just want to share in my journey. If you find this valuable, please share, and if you have any questions for me today, go ahead and post them. We're just doing question and answer session all about fitness competitions, so thank you for watching. So once you can pick your show, I suggest regional for the first one, then that's your date. But along with that, you need to kind of figure out where you're at as far as how much time you need to train for a show. So if you need 6 months, if you need 5 months, it kind of just depends on your fitness level and where you're at to start off with. So if you're just beginning, you're going to want to allow yourself a lot of time to really put on that muscle, get in the routine of working out, eating healthy, and really take your time eating ready for the show. So if you're already super fit, you're working out all the time, then it's probably easier to pick a show that's a little bit less, more like 3 months, 6 months, somewhere in that time frame. So make sure you're allowing yourself enough time so that you're not crash dieting and having to cut carbs or do double cardio, which I hate to do double cardio. So that means cardio twice a day, and nobody wants to do that. So choose your category and then choose. Robert says 16 months. Yes, that it could be the case for some people. That would, but hey, better sometime than no time. Once you commit, you just commit and you stick to it. So there's been times already where I'm just like, oh, this is a lot of work, but you just got to stick with it. Once you decide, you just stick to your guns. So you can, I'll answer your question in a second, Augusto, because that is a good question and I wanted to talk about that. So you choose your show, then you just kind of work backwards from there. So you got your show, and then now you got to start creating your plan. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, do I need to have a coach? So for training for a competition, the answer to me is 100% yes. There's a lot of information that you can get out there for free, but in this industry right now, it's so convoluted, so polluted, and just anybody can decide that they're a coach. So you don't want somebody messing with your metabolism and your body if they are not experienced. So I highly suggest getting an experienced coach, one with certifications, one with a track record. Like, do they have winners? You want to weigh in right. You want to put a lot of, if you're putting all this effort into it, you want to work with somebody who's going to help you to be your best body, bring your best body, but also keep you healthy along the way. So that's very important to do your research and look for a good coach. If you need any suggestions, I have one. So feel free to ask, but having a coach is super important to help you create that roadmap to getting on stage and do it in a safe and healthy environment. So absolutely get a coach. Let's see. What does it take to mentally and physically train? And that kind of goes along with what I first started when I said to be sure how do you decide to compete. It takes a lot of mental strength and a lot of physical strength is just part of the training process. Some people really enjoy that. I enjoy it, but physically pushing myself is kind of something I'm really learning this time around. Mentally, it's a huge mental game, and if you read my post yesterday on Instagram and Facebook, I said it's when your muscles give out, it's your mental strength you got to use, and that's absolutely true because I'm 10 weeks, 11 weeks into this training session for just this show, and it's been difficult. It's been challenging. There's days I have to have conversations with myself in my head where it's just like, okay, Bridget, get up. No, you cannot hit snooze anymore. Get out of bed. You got to go. And the gym's waiting for you. You're not going to win a show if you can't train like a champion. So I have to have those dialogues with myself where it's like, when I'm dead tired, I don't feel like getting up and going to the gym. I have to push myself to go work out or to eat the chicken and rice instead of pizza with my family or whatever the case may be. So always talking to yourself and having that strong mental game is really, really a big part of training for a show and being disciplined and having that drive that pushes you through those hard times. So it takes a lot of mental strength, and I think that's kind of one of the biggest growths that you get out of competing in a show is seeing yourself work through those hard times. Or like when you go to the gym when you absolutely did not want to go to the gym, and then you feel like, oh my gosh, I did it. Like, I didn't want to. I did. Like, the whole, I regret this workout said no one ever is absolutely true. So whenever you go to the gym, you always feel better. I guess Therese asks about music, if I listen to music. That's funny because somebody asked me that yesterday. I listen to music on some days. Like some days I go in and I just need to put music in to eliminate the distractions or so people don't talk to me. So sometimes I use music, but sometimes I don't like to fiddle with it. I don't want to get distracted with skipping songs and having a song come on I don't like. So a lot of times I'll just go in and just hope the music's turned up and that, I'll just get it done. I just got to stay focused. So Frank asks, what is my biggest fear? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure that I'm necessarily afraid of anything. I think my biggest fear would be, when I'm on stage, maybe falling. Yeah, falling. But I've never seen anybody fall. But it is like one of those things where you think about, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't fall. But that would be my biggest fear. But unless something crazy happens, I should be okay. But geez, thanks for bringing that up. Now I'm going to be worried about that. No, I won't. But anyways, so training mentally and physically, it takes a lot. But you can do it. You just got to set your mind to and have those dialogues with yourself and just kind of motivate yourself. So a lot of questions I get is how long do I spend working out in the gym, or how long would I need to work out in the gym? Right now my workouts are really intense, and I would say with lifting weights is about an hour to an hour and a half depending on the day. So my leg days are definitely an hour and 20 minutes or so. And then I also have 20 minutes of cardio right now. So it's not a lot of cardio. It's just kind of maintenance to get me into the routine of doing cardio. But a lot of times I will split that up. So I'll work out, lift weights in the morning, and then do my cardio in the evening. Robert, do I diet and follow a particular program? Yes, absolutely. Diet and nutrition are the two biggest aspects when training for a show. So my diet, which a lot of people ask about and will kind of make fun of me for, is but I eat pretty much 2 different types of meals a day, which is egg whites and oatmeal for my 2 breakfasts, as I call it, because I eat so early. And then I'll eat chicken and rice like 3 or 4 times during the day. So diet is absolutely key. So it's not so much that I'm eating chicken and rice and everybody needs to eat chicken and rice. That's not the case. It's how much I'm eating, the types of food I'm eating. So like eating brown rice, eating rolled oats, oatmeal that's not processed and full of sugars. It's knowing what foods to eat, how much to eat, and what times to eat. So there is a lot of thought that goes into it. So the coach I'm working with, which is Aaron from My Fit Model, he's developing he developed my weight training program, my workouts and exercise, and then he also does my nutrition. So they are designed to work together. So nutrition is absolutely a huge part of it. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is meal prepping. Do I have to meal prep in order to compete? And the easy answer is no. But if you want to be successful, you absolutely have to meal prep. Meal prep is key to success, and those 4 years that I took off where I wasn't competing, I still meal prepped because I would find myself hungry in the middle of the day with nothing to eat, and that's when those mad cravings start. Like yesterday, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, I posted cravings today that I had like mad yesterday. So I had posted Easter eggs in Starburst candy, and I wanted them so bad, and then my coworker went and picked them up for me, and then I was like, oh man, I can't eat this. I was joking, but not joking. So like whenever I'm hungry is when I have mad cravings. Like today I was having mad cravings, and I'm like, okay, it's just time to eat. And if I eat, then my mind stops thinking about food and stuff. Sari asks, what about fruit and vegetables? Yes, fruit. Some fruit is incorporated into my diet plan. I will eat pineapple or watermelon as part of my carbs, so fruit count towards carbs. So I will weigh those out, and sometimes I'll incorporate those just to mix it up. Green veggies I can have as much as I want to. Sometimes I just don't make them just for simplicity, and I just don't care. But I do love green beans, and I will eat green beans, spinach sometimes, and maybe like squash or things like that. Of course, there's sweet potatoes that I'll eat, and brown rice. Those are kind of vegetables, but kind of carbs as well. Jared asks, do I take any supplements? Literally, the only supplement I take is protein powder. I did have a creatine drink that I was doing for a little bit, but I don't know. I don't like to take a lot of supplements, so I keep it as minimal as possible. So I do a post-workout shake, Jared, that is right after my workout, and it's just Optimum on. It's just you can get it on Amazon.com. It's nothing special, but it is a whey protein that I take, and I just add orange juice in it. So the orange juice is for a quick carb, and then the protein is for a quick muscle builder, repair all the muscles, and the carbs just to get energy back into my body real fast. So those are the supplements I take. So another question I get is, like, people asked, because I lost a lot of weight right when I started, like a lot of fat weight I should say, when I started eating really clean back in January when I started preparing for the show. So people are like, oh, were you cutting already? And it's like, no, I just finally started eating perfectly clean, and my body automatically, my metabolism went up higher, and I started losing fat. So a question I always get asked is, are you cutting carbs already? Are you like leaning out and stuff? And the answer is no. Right now I'm not cutting any carbs. I am actually just added carbs, and this week I've kind of been eating high carbs just because my meals are kind of mixed up right now. But I've been eating actually high carbs. My highest carb meals are pre and post workout. So I am not cutting right now, and my goal is to not have to cut carbs. So by doing that, I'm being really intense with my workouts. I'm staying focused on my cardio and eating clean as possible, so that I don't get all my carbs taken away or end up doing double cardio. So the longer I can stay focused and stay on my nutrition plan ahead of time, the less likely I'll have to cut carbs and take away food and to do cardio. So I'm going to roll back up here and answer a question. Jared asks, do I take a pre-workout? Not usually. Sometimes I do, but not really. I have Optimum energy drink that I have. I really like it, but a lot of times I'll end up taking it in the afternoon just as a pick-me-up versus drinking it in the morning. Message me about that, Jared, and I will share that link with you because I actually do really like it. Frank wants to know if I've heard of Advocare and what do I think about it. Yes, I have heard of Advocare. Erin has access to those products. There's nothing wrong with them. It's Advocare you can only buy from people. It's kind of it's a network marketing company, which is fine. They put out generally really good products, but they have a good line. I think some of my sister uses them. I know a lot of people that use Advocare, and they seem to have pretty good products. How about putting a New York pizza and fine IPA beer in front of my treadmill? That would probably be motivation to some. But I'm kind of opposite. If I have a really good workout, I want to eat really clean. Do I focus on a 30-40-30 diet? No, I don't focus on anything other than my measurements. So all my macros are figured out ahead of time. And I eat exactly what my meal plan is. I'm not a scientific person. I just want you to tell me, what am I supposed to do? When am I supposed to do it? And I'll do it. So I get my carbs. And maybe you were asking about fats. I do fats. So carbs, fat, and protein, those are the three I eat every single day. but I don't pay attention to, I don't know macros. I'll be honest, I don't know the macros, I just do what I'm told. And all the macros are figured out based on my weight, my height, and how fast I need to lose fat, how much body fat I have. I don't want to know all that, so I just do what I'm told. But I can, if you want to get more in depth with that, message me, we can go all out on it. But thank you, John, I appreciate that. So moving right along, social situations, people ask a lot about that. Like, how do you handle social situations? Like, do you go out to eat? Do you, like, all my friends are still going out to eat? Can I drink? Like, how does that work? I will be honest, there are some things that you do sacrifice along the way. But, I mean, I don't know. To me, it hasn't been a real big issue. So, I will still go out to eat. And I just have learned how to order at restaurants. I'm not going to, like, Raising Cane's and McDonald's to eat with my friends, but if I go to a Mexican restaurant, I will figure out a way to order fajitas, grilled chicken. I know how to ask for my meals to be prepared with no butter, no oil. So you can still be social. Drinking is allowed, but you wanted to keep it down to the very minimum. So it's like when you have a cheat meal, you kind of have it as a choice of, I can eat whatever I want, or I can have alcohol. So I'm going to go for the food versus the alcohol because there's way more flavor to me and more, I'd rather be awake to taste my food. So that's just a personal preference, but there's absolutely ways you can still be social. Some people would rather drink the alcohol and that's how they want to be social, and that's fine. You just can't, it's too hard when you're training for a show to do both, so it's too much on your body. And honestly, with the cleaner you eat, the less nasty food you want to put in your body. Like, I'll get all excited about pizza on a Monday and like be excited for the weekend to have my cheat meal, and then it gets there and I'm just kind of like, oh, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But you gotta have them. It's good for your mental break, so or your mental, just to keep you sane. So like, if somebody told you couldn't have something for 9 months or 10 months, you just get bitter about it, and you don't want to get bitter about life. So eat the pizza, eat it, drink the wine, just, once a week. That's all. But anyways, we are talking all about question and answers for fitness competitions. I have a whole bunch of questions here that I'm going through, just kind of buzzing through some of them and answering your questions along the way. If you think anybody else would benefit from this, go ahead and share it, tag a person, and thank you for watching today. So we're going to keep going. Currently, along the lines of nutrition, I bring my food with me pretty much everywhere I go right now. So I bring 5 meals with me to work, so that's a lot. So I'm eating 2 oatmeal and egg whites and then 3 chickens. Sometimes I don't eat all 5 at work, but I have the option if I'm going somewhere right after work, or if I get extra hungry. Some days I just eat more than others, or I get hungry faster. Then I always have it with me on the weekends, especially when my schedule's not as consistent. I do bring my meals with me so that at any time I can just pull out a meal and eat versus running to Subway or Chipotle or anything else that is not going to be exactly what I need to eat. So the closer I get to the show, the more strict and structured I need to stay for optimum results. So that is our goal here. Okay. Do I need to buy a lot of supplements, or do I take a lot of supplements? That is a question I often get asked, and I would say the answer is no. It kind of depends on what you like. I don't want to spend a lot of money on supplements. I don't have a supplement sponsor. So to me, I'll do what I need to do. Post-workout shake is, like I said earlier, is pretty much all I do. So it's optional for you on how many supplements you want to take, but you can definitely over-supplement. So talk to your coach, talk to somebody who knows a lot about supplements, and decide what you actually really need to take. So you can get lost in that and start taking stuff that's not even doing anything, or stuff that's not healthy. So be cautious with the supplements. So let's see here. A lot of people ask if I have to starve myself. The answer is absolutely not. I eat a lot and I like it. Actually, just a real quick story, my brother used to make fun of how much, he's been staying with me for a little bit, and he's been asking, he first made fun of me for always being like, I'm hungry. He'd be like, y'all just ate, how are you hungry again? But I get hungry every 2 hours easily, so, and I also get hangry, so you do want to feed me. So he used to make fun of us and would laugh at how we kind of planned our days around food. But the other day we were grocery shopping together, and he's like, "Hey, if I buy the chicken and the rice, will you cook me some food?" So I cooked him some food and packed his lunch for him, and he texted me today. He's like, "This is so good." So apparently I make a mean chicken and rice, and so he's actually excited about it and doesn't mind eating it. So if your food tastes good, it's way easier to eat it. And no, I'm not starving myself. I'm eating like 6, sometimes 7 times a day. So I like my food. Don't take it away from me. Okay, so let's talk about outfits and posing and kind of moving on to the fun stuff about this stage. So I was thinking about this the other day and kind of putting it in perspective for somebody who is asking me about my training and prep and how it goes. So like, I decided to compete probably in October and really buckle down in January when I first started training and came out with my show and announced that I was competing. And it's a lot of work and a lot of focus that you have to do for that, like, what is that? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 8 months worth, 7, 8 months worth of work for literally 5 minutes on stage. Like, each walk is going to probably be 60 seconds. So that is a lot of work to do for that amount of time. And it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of fun, whatever. People are like, you know, what do you win? What do you do? Like, why do you do it? It's, first off, you got to love it. I love fitness. I love everything about it, and a fitness competition is like just a way to show it off, just a way to be like, okay, I worked all hard for this, and this is just the reward. Getting to walk across the stage, kind of show it off, and be like, here I am, I did it. That's really what it's all about. I don't even know where I was going with that. Where was I going with that? So part of the planning for that is all of the outfits, all of the hair and makeup, and learning to do all that, and basically taking all the grunt and the sweat and getting to glam it up. So outfits are a lot of fun to pick out, sometimes stressful. So there's 2 categories that I'm going to be competing in, and I've talked about them in previous shows, but it's going to be model and bikini. And between both categories, or both divisions, however you want to call it, I need 5 outfits. So I have some of my outfits in the works. Some of them I need to still put together, and then some of them I already have. So there's a lot of outfits and planning that goes into it, but it's fun because it's like where you get to kind of put your personality and put your spin on stage and how you present yourself. So the outfits are a big deal, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can rent outfits, you can buy outfits, you can make them yourself if you're crafty like that. It's really, the options are now so immense. There's so many different choices that you have, and so many different things, different avenues you can get shows from. So when I first started about 4 years ago, there was not that many suit makers, there's not many designers and people, there wasn't a lot of options. Now the options are endless, and there's a lot of people that do it online and have it mastered as how to send them your measurements, and they send you back a blinged out bikini built for your body type. So the options for that are a lot more abundant, and also they can be really expensive. So I've been researching all different kind of options, and I'm trying to do it not on a huge budget. So I'm thrifty. I'll look for deals, I'll look for sales, talk to people I know, and of course work with sponsors and things like that to try and get discounts, or just give them something in exchange for a deal or sponsorship outfit. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. There's like, with the custom suit, you can do everything from picking the colors to the connectors to the bling to the sizing. So there's a lot of thought that can go into it. It can be really overwhelming, but just you know, you can always ask me if you need help picking something out. I actually kind of enjoy doing that. But pick a color that you feel confident in. Pick a color that you feel great. One that goes with your skin tone. There's a few different things you can think about, and then one that just makes you feel really proud to show yourself off. So that's the science behind that one for you. Posing is one of the finishing touches, but one of the most important parts of training for your fitness competition. It's kind of the icing on the cake, and when some people ask, does the prettiest girl win? Does the girl with the biggest muscles win? The answer is no. The girl who puts on the best presentation, looks the best, and puts on a show for everybody and makes them feel good watching is the girl that's going to win. So stage presence is absolutely 100% important and makes or breaks your time on stage. So it's so important. So if you've ever been to a pageant, you've ever been to a talent show, anything, if you've ever been to any kind of contest and you see somebody come out who's real timid and shy and doesn't really know, they're not confident in yourself, you squirm in your chair and you're like, oh god, this is going to be awful, I hope they don't mess this up. Like, you immediately get uncomfortable, and then you're like, oh gosh, her hair's messy, or she should have brushed her hair, and then you get completely distracted with all of the reasons they're showing uncomfortable. Like, you get cringed when you see somebody uncomfortable and you start feeling uncomfortable. So it's completely visible. When somebody comes out and they're confident and they're presenting themselves, they're putting on a show and they're excited to be there, you forget what they're even wearing. You're just like, wow, whatever this person is doing is making me feel good, and they're so pleasant to watch. They're exciting, they're absolutely loving what they're doing, and they look great. I forgot to look at her leg muscles. I don't even know if she has leg muscles, but the way she presented herself made me feel that she was a winner and made me feel that she was confident, knew what she was doing, and heck, if she thinks she's going to win, she probably should win. So you give her a high score. So posing and practicing and going out there confidently is really what makes you stand out from the rest of them, and that is what I'm banking on, because I know I don't have the biggest muscles, and I know that I'm not a beast. I'm just Bridget, and I'm bringing and training and doing everything that I need to do to bring my best package to Mexico City. Does that mean there's going to be somebody with bigger legs there? Absolutely. Is there going to be somebody prettier? Absolutely. Is there going to be somebody who poses better than me? Hopefully not, because my ass is going to be working and posing like crazy and going there to put on a show. So posing is extremely important, and kind of the finishing touches to putting on a fantastic top to your show. So I'm not sure how we're doing on time here, but I'm guessing we're getting close to about 7:30. So one of the questions I get asked a lot, and we'll kind of start winding down with this one, is, am I nervous? And the answer is no, I'm not nervous about competing again. My attitude right now is I'm going to train hard, eat right, practice my posing, put together amazing outfits, bring a good attitude, and leave no stone unturned for everything that I need to do to bring my best body and my best attitude and my best everything I can think of, my whole package, to Mexico City. So at that rate, I'm going to go into the show feeling 100% confident that everything I did was necessary. I didn't miss that workout. I talked myself into it. I didn't eat that brownie. I didn't go do this. Or I made those sacrifices and did everything I needed to do to bring a winning body, a winning attitude, and a winning performance to Mexico City. So if I can do that, then it's in the judges' hands. It's in God's hands, and literally it comes down to the judges' opinions. Like, they could prefer blonde over brunette. They could prefer red over green. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to go in with the attitude that I did everything I needed to do. I'm going to be proud of that and excited about that. And then whatever happens at that point is in God's hands. So I will just go being excited that I did everything I needed to do. And at that point, the reward is crossing that stage as my finish line for this goal, and knowing that I did everything I needed to. And that's it. Like, I'll be proud. I made it. I put it out there. I did it. And at that point, the results and the outcome is in God's hands, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. But I'm going to go in with giving it my all and enjoying the process and the journey. And I'm super excited to bring all of you guys along with me, and I appreciate everybody's support and how much y'all have been encouraging to me. And I'm excited. I'm excited to share in this event and this journey with you. I'm excited that it's going to be live, so y'all get to watch me walk across stage and do my little routines and see all my outfits, and even see the awards live. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's it for today. If y'all have more questions, feel free to leave comments. If you didn't watch this live, go ahead and leave some comments or questions, and I will come back and be sure to respond to those If you ever need any help with nutrition or exercise questions, feel free to give me a message, and I'm more than happy to help you out there. Again, thank you for watching. If you find this valuable or you think somebody else would, please share it and tag somebody in this post. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week for some more fun and more preparations. Thanks, guys.